Since Caitlin Clark has entered the league, the prevailing conversation around the WNBA has been drawing power. It's one thing that Angel Reese is not. Angel Reese is not a draw. If you haven't believed me before, this weekend further proved that point, because the Bayou Barbie was officially rejected in the Bayou. Angel Reese was rejected at home. How embarrassing. Now, you're not going to hear this from the mainstream media, who continues to pretend that the Bayou Barbie is beloved. You're not going to hear this from the media, who continues to pretend that Angel Reese is a huge star.
Since Caitlin Clark has entered the league, the prevailing conversation around the WNBA has been drawing power. Angel Reese once boldly declared that people tune into women's basketball because of her. A bold take until you see what actually went down when she returned to LSU with the Chicago Sky. You'd think Baton Rouge would roll out the purple carpet, right? There's one thing that Angel Reese is not. Angel Reese is not a draw. If you haven't believed me before, this weekend further proved that point, because the Bayou Barbie was officially rejected in the Bayou. Angel Reese was rejected at home. But nope, that 13,000-seat arena barely half full with just 6,300 fans bothering to show up. And that's being generous. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark had fans shelling thousands for tickets. Her preseason game sold out faster than you can say delusional hype. And the contrast, oh, it's brutal. We've got the pictures Reese probably wishes she could delete from the internet. Aisles of empty chairs, $15 tickets gathering dust, free tickets being given away, and a whole lot of awkward silence. Remember when she said she was bringing eyes to the game? Well, apparently those eyes were too busy looking elsewhere. If you ride with Caitlin, comment CC is the needle down below. Let's go. How embarrassing. Now, you're not going to hear this from the mainstream media, who continues to pretend that the Bayou Barbie is beloved. You're not going to hear this from the media, who continues to pretend that Angel Reese is a huge star. So, let's unpack why this little LSU homecoming may have stung more than one of Reese's trademark missed layups. And no, this wasn't just an average game. It was supposed to be her moment. Her glorious return to the campus that made her a star. The same campus where she danced on national TV with a championship trophy. The same place where fans once screamed her name like she was LSU's Beyoncé. This was her time to shine, to walk back in as the hometown hero. The Chicago Sky go into LSU, the home court of Angel Reese. Man, it's going to be lit. It's going to be lit. Instead, it was a ghost town with a scoreboard. The social media pics from that night are circulating like wildfire. And let's just say they're not doing Reese any favors. Huge chunks of the arena sat in total silence. Sections completely untouched by human presence. We're talking cavernous gaps of empty plastic seats, entire rows of nothing. The upper bowl never even opened. Why? Because they couldn't fill the bottom one. For someone who claims she's revolutionizing the sport, the vibes were more forgotten open mic night than WNBA superstar returns to roaring applause. Nobody showed up to this sucker. Nobody. Let me just blow this. Look at that. I noticed it right off the bat. Look, number one, look at all the purple seats down here in this lower bowl section, and then the entire top bowl. Forget about it. Forget about it. And here's the most hilarious part. Tickets were basically free, heavily discounted, and some were even being given away. Most seats would average $15. That's less than the cost of parking at most NBA arenas. We're talking cheaper than a movie and popcorn. Still, fans didn't bite. You could have thrown in a coupon and a selfie, and the seats would have stayed cold. The woman who claims she's the reason people care about women's basketball couldn't even draw half a crowd at her own alma mater. Let that sink in. Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese are not the same. Both had their homecoming celebrations this weekend. One of them sold out in 27 minutes. The other one couldn't give away free tickets. Let's go full math nerd for a second. To hit 50% capacity in that arena, they needed at least 6,670 fans. Angel didn't even crack that. She missed the halfway point by about 300 people. That's not a near miss. That's a full-on whiff. And when someone talks as much as she does about changing the game, falling short of a D-list concert crowd is not the flex she thinks it is. In case you were wondering, I did do the math. How many seats were actually left last night? Over 6,800 in a 13,000 capacity arena. There was over 6,800 seats still available. And some people were saying, by the way, that literally there were some $15 tickets out there. Even the broadcast knew something was off. Every frame was zoomed tighter than Reese's TikTok videos. But unfortunately for Angel, social media exists. And fans, they weren't shy about sharing the unfiltered reality. Images of an arena echoing with awkward quiet. Seats as empty as her claims of stardom. Look at all those empty seats, folks. That is crazy as hell. I mean, empty, empty, empty. All that. Never mind all this. They could have put black tarps over. Look at that. Look at that. Look, the WNBA still got problems. They got problems over and beyond one player. I don't know what they do about it. You might be thinking, okay, one game, so what? But here's where it gets hilarious. Angel's been running her mouth for months about how she brings new fans, how she's the spark behind women's basketball blowing up. But numbers don't lie. Empty arenas don't lie. Silence doesn't lie. She can post all the Instagram reels she wants. 6,300 fans in a building that holds 13,000 is all the fact check we need. The Brazilians sent their national team to Baton Rouge to open the WNBA preseason against the Chicago Bravado. The event was marketed as a homecoming for Angel Reese. The Bayou Barbie returns to the Bayou to be worshipped by her millions and millions of adoring fans. This was supposed to be a full-circle moment, a hero's welcome. Instead, it was a PR disaster wrapped in a participation trophy. The place where she built her brand didn't even show up. Her ride-or-die fan base must have had better things to do. And if Angel Reese can't pull a crowd at LSU, then where exactly can she? Now, let's talk about the player who actually is bringing fans to the game, Caitlin Clark. While Reese was playing to crickets and camera pans, Clark was busy selling out entire arenas. Her preseason game in Iowa wasn't just packed. It was electric. Every seat filled, every fan on their feet. Scalpers could have made rent off those tickets. The demand insane. The energy unmatched. Clark doesn't just draw crowds, she creates moments. Good luck finding affordable tickets for the Indiana Fever preseason game against Brazil at Carver Hawkeye Arena. Seats at the arena for the May 4th matchup between the Indiana Fever and Brazil were first offered to season ticket holders and a few top donors. Didn't take long for them to be gone. And here's where things really start to spiral in a hilarious popcorn-worthy kind of way. When tickets for Caitlin Clark's preseason game at Carver Hawkeye Arena dropped, they didn't trickle out over a few days. They didn't crawl their way to sold-out status in a few hours. Nope. Every single seat was snatched up in 27 minutes flat. Less than half an hour. That's quicker than it takes to order pizza and regret your topping choices. People were refreshing their screens like it was Beyoncé tickets. And we're talking about a preseason game. That's the kind of demand that doesn't just say star power, it shouts it with confetti cannons. The contrast between these two couldn't be louder. Angel's big return felt like a retirement ceremony no one RSVP'd to. Clark's preseason outing felt like a national holiday. One rookie is struggling to fill a room in her own backyard. The other's being treated like a rock star wherever she goes. People are fighting to see Caitlin play. They're rearranging vacations and buying flights. This isn't hype. It's real stardom. Yeah. The reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me, too. And I want y'all to realize that. Clark has single-handedly turned preseason WNBA games into must-watch TV. Meanwhile, Angel can't even get LSU to care for one night. And sure, you could make excuses, timing, marketing, weather, whatever. But let's be honest, if she truly had that kind of pull, fans would have shown up. The fact that they didn't says more than a press conference ever could. The crowd was praising their Bayou Barbie. The chants of Angel Reese could be heard all the way in the third row. Problem is, I wouldn't exactly call it a crowd. Even calling it a small gathering might be inappropriate. Perhaps a more suitable description would be a family reunion. And it's not just this one game. This is a trend. Everywhere Clark goes, ticket prices spike. Jerseys fly off shelves. Social engagement explodes. She's not just changing how we watch women's basketball. She's redefining who watches it. Angel Reese can talk all she wants. But while she's talking, Caitlin Clark is delivering. Now, let's really wrap our heads around this. Fans are dropping hundreds, no scratch that, thousands of dollars on resale sites just to catch Caitlin Clark in action, and not in playoff games or even games that count. These are glorified scrimmages, the basketball equivalent of a sound check. Still, people are reaching deep into their wallets like it's their civic duty just to witness her live. Who does that for preseason? Oh, right. Superstars, game changers, icons in the making. Caitlin Clark. And then here we have today basically clapping back at all of that and proving that they know that they are the moment. They are the Showtime team. They are the biggest team currently in the WNBA. This kind of stuff is not only good for the Indiana Fever, it's good for the entire WNBA. Meanwhile, on the opposite end of the hype spectrum, Angel Reese's preseason homecoming was practically a Groupon event. Tickets were going for $15, and even that was apparently a bit too steep for most. You could have brought a date and bought snacks for less than the cost of a single Fever resale ticket, and still fans were like, hey, maybe next time. Imagine offering the basketball version.